Welcome to Vacuum Wars and to my review of the Shark Air Purifier. In the past, vacuum companies have dabbled with making air purifiers, which is a natural crossover for them because vacuum companies are already good at making motors that move air efficiently, as well as Hepa filters and advanced electronics. And today I'm reviewing Shark's first air purifier. I put it through all kinds of tests this week, both at the studio and at my house. I compared its results to some of the most expensive air purifiers on the market, and I was more than a little impressed. So, links in the description to all Shark's air purifier models, and let's get started. The 4 in the name of the one that I bought means it has 4 motors, though they also have a Shark Air Purifier 6, which has 6 motors and a bigger filter to cover the extra motors. They have a 1-motor budget version as well. The first interesting features I'll mention are the 2 displays. The one on the top shows you which of the 4 power levels you're currently on and has touch controls for everything including timers and various modes. Both screens display what Shark calls CleanSense IQ, which shows the current air quality level expressed as a color, blue for good, yellow for not so good, or red for bad. There's also a changing number in the middle which shows you how long it's going to take to clean the air based on that particle count. I should say that being able to look over and see what your air quality is, whether that's bad or good, is a feature that I really like and get a lot of value from, and was disappointed not to have it on the much more expensive IQ Air, which I reviewed a few videos back. It does come with a remote control, but no app option as far as I can tell. The 4 fans might be a big part of the story for Shark air purifiers. It's not something that you typically see. Normally, air purifiers have one big fan. Shark says that the multiple fans evenly distribute airflow across the filter and provide a very fast air delivery rate. They also say that it helps to reduce noise. As far as the filter itself goes, it's a large, true Hepa filter, trapping particles down to 0.3 microns in size, which is really good. It also has an activated carbon layer integrated into the filter for heightened protection against household odors and VOCs, or volatile organic compounds. You can't really see the activated carbon layer here because it's covered by a third layer, which is kind of a mesh pre-filter for super large particles, but all in all, it's a pretty high quality filter. I started out by testing its airflow at the intake and found that its 4 power settings ranged from around 14 CFM on low power to 58 CFM on max power, which is lower than most of the others I've tested, which is why I was surprised to find that the Shark outperformed most of those in the subsequent tests, which I think I'm going to attribute to the multiple fan design. For example, in the box test, where I fill up a box with 10 seconds of fog from my fog machine, which untouched would last for 20 minutes or more, but when the air purifiers are turned on, it clears it up in a few seconds. In the case of the Shark, it cleared the fog in an average of 22 seconds on its max power mode, which is only comparable to the IQ Air and much faster than the others. The same thing on its low power. Despite it having a lower airflow on low power than the IQ Air and really all the others, it was more efficient, cleaning the air in 151 seconds compared to 201 on the IQ Air. This efficiency showed up in the various room tests as well. In the 1100 square foot studio room, it reduced the particles 90% in 30 minutes and 98% in 1 hour, which is impressive. None of the others I've tested seem to be as efficient. It was the same basic story with the tests I did at my house. For example, I ran it overnight on max power in my 1200 or so square foot upstairs with high ceilings, and it reduced the particles 92%, down to an average of 2,000 0.3 size particles and 0 2.5 sized, which is the lowest particle level I've seen an air purifier get with this particular test. In terms of noise, it was the quietest of any that I've tested so far. Now, I would expect that since, as I said, it did have lower airflow numbers than the others too, but I feel like it gets credit for being the quietest because, as we saw, it processes air just as fast as the others, just not as loud. And noise really is a concern with air purifiers because you just won't want to use it on max power if it's really loud, and the Shark has a noticeably good balance there. I also tested its ability to filter volatile organic compounds and odors. I used a VOC meter at my house and found that it reduced the number by 25% in the overnight tests, which is not as good as the IQ Air, which has an absolutely massive charcoal module, but it was a decent amount of odor and VOC reduction for the price. In terms of filter replacement costs, it really wasn't that great. Shark recommends changing the filters every 6 to 12 months, and at current prices, that puts your costs about $76 to $150 $252 a year if you bought official Shark filters, or about half that if you bought third-party filters. So it's a little pricey to operate, and that could be a consideration. As far as the looks of the thing, I think it's way better than the IQ Air, which is bulky and looks like a medical device in your living room, where the Shark's slim design and aesthetics looks like it belongs in your house. So that's a definite plus for my wife. My takeaway is that the Shark's multi-fan design is a really clever design that seems to do exactly what Shark says it does. That is, give you more efficiency with lower noise than its competitors. And it was noticeably good at both those things in the tests. So I think it's a genuinely good air purifier. I assume the 6-fan version would be up to 33% better than this one, since they have 2 extra fans. The only drawback I can see is the cost. I think it's a good value, but I think the replacement filters are higher than average, though they do seem to be of high quality as well. Links in the description, and be sure to subscribe to Vacuum Wars before you leave. Thanks for watching.